We're fixing this Ford Escape here. It's a 2001 XLT. You know, pretty nice little car. It's got a straight, clean body. The center cap's actually just laying right there. We replaced the AC compressor because that was the reason it was parked. It locked up solid. So we swapped that. I do wonder what's making this buzzing noise. I'm guessing some sort of relay. I don't know, but it all works perfectly fine, so I just live with that. I don't really care. My dad bought this for $200 if I didn't mention it. It's really clean. We went to the junkyard, got some parts. I swapped out the taillight. Busted. It's got crap on the bottom. A whole bunch of water came out and I dumped it all out. Here's our original taillight. Junkyard taillight is a replacement. The car, so they had a bunch of Escapes, but you know, most of them are robbed of parts. Well, this one was like way up in the air for some reason. I guess it looked like somebody wanted suspension components, but there was nothing missing. So I'm not sure why the back of the car was stacked up on top of 5 tires and way in the air. But anyway, it was kind of hard access for people, and so this thing was complete on the back end of the car since it was way up in the air. And so I climbed way up there and got the hatch open, which had no shocks. Actually, the shocks were there. They're just bad. And jammed a piece of, looked like fan shroud between the hatch to keep it up so I could get this taillight. Anyway, the quarter panel was destroyed. Bumper was all scraped up and gouged. And I'm like, how is the taillight perfect? Well, that's because it's a depot lens. So it's replacement, which is good. It's in good shape, of course. But it looks a hell of a lot better than our duct-taped, missing chunks of lens, light full of mold and everything else. So it's a nice complete Escape now. So it's pretty cool. We got a headliner situation, but yeah. The rear door latch didn't work, so she does now, and I'm not going to demonstrate, sorry, but because the key's in the ignition. Anyway, there's the original. Didn't work. It would lock. All the doors would lock, but for some reason that wouldn't lock. Got some junkyard shocks for the rear hatch, which really aren't good anymore, as you can see. But I thought it was worth a gamble, and these are off of a Mazda Tribute. I got another set off of an Escape, and we were just kind of playing around. It's a little family-owned yard, so they don't really charge much for anything. And so we got a big pile of crap for like $20. So we paid $40 total, $20 for the taillight and then $20 for the box of miscellaneous junk. And so, yeah, not bad at all. And I mean, it stays up now. It would not stay up before. So these were the 2 good ones out of the pile. And not exactly good either, but it's better than it was. And to me, that's satisfactory. I don't really care. It holds the lift gate up. So I'm perfectly content with that. Leather's pretty well shot, but that's just what that is. So that's just how it's gonna be. We got all the floor mats, all that. We're gonna pressure wash the carpet. Don't know if it's today or not. Probably will. Haven't quite got that far, but she's in pretty good shape otherwise. Window switches, all that stuff kind of work, except for that one. That one was bad. So that's a junkyard switch. It was in the Mazda Tribute, which is, again, the same platform of this vehicle. So I stole that and just snapped it in our tan bezel because it was not a tan interior. And it works. Now, the buttons are slightly faded. Not bad, but you can kind of see that light fading they have going on since it was weathering, since the door was left open. But you know, it's not bad, and I'm not about to take the gamble trying to swap over the extremely worn out buttons that I have laying over there. And for anybody curious, we have $1.79 on the clock, and this is a junkyard bezel. For anybody curious, the steering column was ripped apart because the battery was dead, and the previous owner, which is just my dad's buddy, he had it since 2014. Clean title, all that. It's nothing like that. He wanted to move it, but the battery was dead. He doesn't know too much about cars, but he looked up a video and unfortunately broke the original steering column cover. So that's where this comes in. It's a off of a Tribute, and then that's when we noticed that this hole is actually smaller, or larger rather, than the original. So what I might do is take that plastic ring and just shave it out with a Dremel or something. I'm not 100% certain what I'm doing yet, just to make a surround. Or maybe I'll just put it straight on, and it really wouldn't look that bad, I don't think. We'll see. I didn't get that far. We got the screws, all that stuff, so we'll see how it goes. So yeah. Console could use a good cleaning. It's got some discoloration, which probably, just by the way it looks, I don't think that'll come back with Armor All. So not exactly 100% certain as to what we're doing. We made a list of parts, went out, got a bunch of parts, and unfortunately, after doing some more playing around here, that speaker's blown. The rest of them are good. That one's good. Back ones are good. But this passenger door one's all rattly and sounds like crap. So, okay, we got to get a speaker. Now, the weird thing is, there's always something weird. Every project car that we ever scooped up, there's always something just odd about it. This one, to me, which is odd, this isn't super odd, but a little odd to me. Cigarette lighters. I understand you use them and whatnot, but at the junkyard, every single one of these cars had perfect cigarette lighters. They're all nice and tight. I know the Explorers in the 90s had the issue with these like breaking out of their thing, but I have never seen it. On all the Escapes that were out there, probably a total of 10, all these were tight. All of them, just like this. But here's the deal. I replaced this. Pain in the butt because of how tight it is in here. And so I had to remove that little plastic ring that goes around the cigarette lighter. And then once I got that plastic ring snapped in, I had to push the cigarette lighter in such a super tight, snug fit, which is great. But I don't know how the hell... The only way they would have broken this is if when they tried to pry it out or something, because they literally broke. See? The tab is gone, tab is gone. Got two little tabs that lock it into the radial bezel, and they broke them. I don't know why. Trash now. I don't care. I replaced it with that one. And then the lower one, same story. They both work. I kept testing them with that little Bluetooth adapter. But this guy here, super loose, falling out, again, busted tabs. I don't understand why. I don't know. Now this is understandable, breaking off that little door, you know. And I intentionally looked for one that had one because I wanted to have that little 12-volt door cover. Doesn't matter, but I just like having factory stuff put back in. So, you know, going back to OEM. And we'll get those glued in. That's a pet peeve now. Keep looking at that. We have the little inserts, at least except for one. So we'll keep our eyes peeled. But, you know, we'll get it all cleaned up soon. So, but this guy here, yeah. The tab's broken off of it too. So I don't know. Maybe the cigarette lighters weren't working, and so they were trying to diagnose why. And so they figured pulling them out could... I don't know. But that's yeah, they're fixed, and that's all that matters. I replaced them with good ones that are actually locked in and a little bit prettier. I mean, that one there was just broken tabs. There's nothing wrong with it. And the lower one, of course, is missing the door and, again, broken tabs. So it's nice because now I have these two that are actually good condition, and so they sit nice and tight in there and don't move around, and they both work great. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. Like I said, I replaced the window switches. Now, unfortunately, the one little tab or whatever, one of the tabs are broken on that thing, so it won't actually like hold it down. So the window switches are actually locked into that faceplate, but the faceplate itself, when it sits down into the door card, is loose because the tabs are broken. So it just kind of wobbles around. So I'm going to take some Gorilla double-sided tape, and it's like a foam tape for your like trim and stuff on the outside of a vehicle. I'm going to use that, just a couple of little pieces to kind of lock it on down. That'll hold it just fine. So that'll be good. Get that all locked in. So fixed the window switch issue. All the windows work. Now that the rear hatch switch has been replaced, it locks like it should and unlocks. The rear glass, while the shocks are worn, they actually do work, unlike the previous. And then, yeah, replace the cigarette lighter. It's pretty minor, but yeah, we'll get that little cowl or bezel, whatever you want to call it, around the column again. We'll get this tucked back in. I got to put a couple more ounces of refrigerant in, but it's nice and cool. Stupid, crappy, cheap aftermarket thing is broken. Or not broken. That's super cheap, crappy AC compressor. Sounds like garbage, but it works. So we'll live with it, I guess. It does the job. So we're about $550 into this car so far. That's including the price tag. So we get about a $550 Ford Escape so far. So pretty cool new toy. My dad's Malibu is dying. We're still planning to fix the Malibu because he seems to like that more, but I'm not exactly 100% certain, because now that we're getting it cleaned up, my dad seems a bit happier about this one. So my dad's always been kind of a hatchback guy. At least he seems like it. For one reason, he just likes the fact that, unlike the Malibu, you can just get into the Escape. You know, you don't have to fall into a hole. You can literally just get in, and you don't have to climb up. You just kind of turn your butt and sit down in the seat. So I understand that. But I'm still young, so I guess I don't know how it feels yet. But yeah, I mean, it's a clean, straight body. It has a little bit of rust, but you can't beat it for what it was. Now it had running boards, but they were trash. I mean, they were barely held on by the two bolts in the front, I think, or maybe the back. I think it was the back. Either way, they were completely rotted out. I mean, literally half of it was gone, and it was barely hanging on both sides. So they looked like complete trash. And we were going to initially just go to the junkyard and buy some running boards, but, you know, we also figured same thing. It's going to be the same story with those. And we probably would have been right, but the ones at the yard didn't have running boards. Some of them were lower trim, and other ones, well, they just probably would have had them, and they're just gone. I don't know. Either way, it looks better without the running boards, in my opinion and my dad's opinion. So we're just going to leave them off. I don't care. We're not replacing them, but we are keeping the brackets just in case we ever get some running boards in the future. We have the brackets and the bolts. Actually, we only have 2 bolts per side. The lower bolts that were in the bottom of the car are put back in, but I mean the bolts that actually hold the running board onto the car. Anyway, don't care. We're just keeping the brackets just in case in the future for whatever reason. I don't even know what's happening with the car 100% yet. What I think is going to happen is my dad's going to drive it until I fix the Malibu, and then I think this is going to be mine, if I'm not mistaken. But I already own 3 cars, and so I don't know. Anyway, it's a runner. It's a driver. She still needs a little bit of work. She needs brake pads, and AC compressor, like I said, was replaced. And she needs a power steering pump. It's failing. It works, but it's failing and growling. It's full of fluid, so she's kind of on her way out. But all the ones at the yard look pretty trashed, the Escapes. So, I mean, they're just cheap throwaway cars, so this one's pretty nice. But we're going to do some touch-ups, because you can see the body's super nice. We're going to give it a good buff and polish when we're done. And I have some plastic cleaner, and so I'm going to use that, and it will make this plastic look nice and bright and pretty again for probably at least a month. Anyway, I'll clean up all the plastic, buff and polish the paint, and I will repaint the wiper arms and all this kind of stuff, fresh black again, and just make the car look nice and pretty. Again, I'll get the inserts re-glued, or maybe use a tan fabric or something instead. Just make her look nice and pretty. Just so she's appealing again, and I'll get some headliner adhesive spray, get that all stuck back up. And yeah, get a new junkyard door speaker, get the pressure washer out, and clean the carpet up once I take it out of the car and all that. Again, she's a work in progress. It's not something that's going to just be done immediately. It's kind of just a little side project. So just a little bit of fun and something to keep my bored butt busy. So sure, another project, first Ford toy, so gives me something to do, I guess. Oh yeah, and can't forget, The cherry on top for the end is going to be new headlights. Because again, there's no damage on this thing. Like, it is a straight, clean body. A couple little door dings and stuff, but that's it. It's clean. It's no accidents, nothing. I mean, it's a clean body. Everything is great. So we're gonna toss some new headlights in once I get it buffed and polished and get all the trim and stuff looking all pretty. We will toss in a brand new set of headlights. The one has a weep hole in it. Somebody drilled a little weep hole since it was leaking, I guess. And the other one is just all yellowed. I mean, they're both matching. It's just, yeah, we'll get some new headlights. And as for the taillights, we're good now. So, yay. Oh yeah, we got to get a couple machine screws for the back here, since they're not your standard license plate screws. Anywho, thanks for watching. And I'll make another update if somebody wants it. And have a good day.